Welcome back to the video series for the SAScon 2026 Sideboards tournament. This is round 2, where I'm facing BlackRain78. I filmed a short intro video that covers the format and my army, so check that out if you're interested in why I'm running Ordo. This map is Tempest, and the near glyph is Sola Astrid, and the far glyph is Dual Igloden. BlackRain's core is Grey Spears with Arctos, with 2 Vark sideboards. The first with Quickblades, Swift Fangs, and Leslie Coyote Kane, and the second with Dark Claws, Bahadur, and Kira Jax. I think the one with 2 additional squads is generally stronger, but I'll want to be using my Phantom Knights pod regardless, as Ashra are not that good into Grey Spears and Arctos, and Phantom Knights counter Grey Spears nicely. So I select my Phantom Knights pod, and then see BlackRain selected his Quick and Swift pod, which makes sense. Again, seems like the optimal draft choices here on both sides. Ordo do outrange everything in BlackRain's army, so I'll largely just be potting up and waiting for the Varks to enter their range. Varks are so quick that I won't have time to move Concan or the Alder Knights, but I will be able to build up a bit of a PK screen to intercept the Swifts and Quicks whenever they first engage the pod. So going into round 1, I put 2 order markers each on Phantom Knights and Ordo, with the 1 on Ordo to get them up to level 2, and the 2 to 3 on Phantom Knights to build up the screen. This order marker distribution ends up being a problem though, as we'll see shortly. I lose initiative and see 2 order markers each on Swift and Grey, which makes sense. The order marker 1 is on Swift, and I'm expecting the other 2 to both be on Greys. Swifts bond with Greys, who move into the middle, and Swifts then flank around the outside. My order marker 1 is on Ordo, and my plan was to move them up to level 2, but now if I do that, they'll be in Grey Spear range next turn, which I just can't afford to do. So I end up no-opping this whole turn, which is a pretty big mistake. This order marker should have been on Phantom Knights, with the Ordo order marker later, to where they could either shoot in place or move up then, depending on how aggressive the Varks had been. The order marker 2 is on Greys, who bond with Arctos, who joins them in the middle, and the Greys then pivot slightly to form the pod around him. However, because I outrange them, they won't be able to hold that position and get attacks off. My 2 is PKs, and I develop them just up out onto the level 2 height, where I was planning on putting the Ordo. This moves my pod 1 space back of where I wanted it, but they do still get the Concan boost there, so it's not all bad. BlackRain's order marker 3 is on Greys, who bond with Swifts, who take Sola Astrid and otherwise just move up slightly, and then the Greys back up a bit. My 3 is on PKs, and I move 2 more up onto the plateau, both next to jungle. This is the most I was able to move up while not getting them next to height, where Swifts could have then had height on them on the next order marker. Going into round 2, I end up putting 3 order markers on the Phantom Knights with just 1 on Ordo. My thinking was that, if the Swift Fangs came in, the PKs with Concan boost on level 2 were actually better attacks than Ordo from low ground, and if they didn't, I could send PKs out to hunt down the Grey Spears, which is the main threat to my Ordo. If I can make some good trades with Phantom Knights, then I could be up on points, and the rest of the Varks would then have to come into the Ordo pod. I lose the round 2 initiative, which is definitely good, and see 2 order markers on the Swift Fangs, 1 on Grey Spears, and 1 on Quickblades. Those are Quickblades, by the way, not Dark Claws. He was using Dark Claws as proxies for the Quicks, like I was using a Brute as proxy for Marku. Order marker 1 is on the Swifts, and they bond with the Quicks, who develop up, and then 3 Swifts come in to hit my PK screen, with the final one staying on Sola Astrid. The Swift Fangs only manage 1 kill, though. My 1 is on Phantom Knights, and I slightly develop 2 of them, and take 3 attacks of 3v3 into the Swift Fangs, and roll hot, getting all 3 kills. The 2 is on the Greys, meaning the order marker 3 is probably on Quicks. BlackRain initially was going to bond with Arctos and come in, until he realized how much defense my Phantom Knights would have, which prompted him to call my army appropriately evil. Guess I accomplished my goals in this tournament then. They end up instead bonding with the Quicks, who develop forward, and the Greys hang back, afraid of the Phantom Knights. My 2 is on PKs, and I decided to come in now, because engaging the Quicks will deny them their special attack, and I also wanted the opportunity to get Grey Spear kills on my order marker 3 with any Phantom Knights that survived. I have height on 2 quicks and even ground on 1 Gray Spear, but miss all 3 attacks this time. The Order Marker 3 is indeed on quicks, as expected, and they bond with Arctos, who steps forward to engage a Phantom Knight and provide some boosts, and they get 1 kill this turn. My 3 is PKs, and I have a good opportunity to kill the Gray Spears here across a potential initiative switch. I send 1 PK further forward to get height on a Gray Spear, and replace him with 1 from the back. I get that Gray Spear kill from height, and then kill a quick, and use the final attack even ground into a Gray, but miss that one. Going into round 3, I keep 3 Order Markers on Phantom Knights, as they're forward and have flexibility to attack whichever squad has Order Markers on them, but I lose initiative 3-2. Damn, that's embarrassing. I see 2 Order Markers each on Grays and Quicks, with the Order Marker 1 on Grays. They bond with Arctos, who moves to max height but misses the 4v4 on that PK. Grays then engage all 3 forward Phantom Knights and get 1 kill. My Order Marker 1 is PKs, and I replace the one that died with a new one from the back, and take the same 3 attacks back into the Gray Spears, getting 2 kills. The Order Marker 2 is also on Gray Spears, which means the Order Marker 3 will be on Quicks, and they bond with the Quicks this turn, who get 1 kill, and the last Gray Spear gets another one. My Order Marker 2 is Phantom Knights, and knowing the Order Marker 3 is on Quicks, I focus fire on them, but only get 1 of them. Quicks then bond with Arctos, but I block his attack and the Quicks attack. My 3 is actually on Ordo, though, as a bit of a hedge against having lost more Phantom Knights by now. Only 1 is in range of anything, so the other 2 move up, and that one takes his shot at Arctos, doing 1 wound. Going into round 4, I put 2 Order Markers each on Phantom Knights and Ordo, with the 1 in X on Phantom Knights, as I still have several of them tying up everything in the middle of the map. I lose initiative and see the Order Markers scattered across all the cards. The Order Marker 1 is on Grays, and Arctos kills 1 Phantom Knight, but the Grays miss their attack. My 1 is Phantom Knights, and I spread out to go for all the Vark squad figures, and kill the Swift Fang and the Quickblade. The Order Marker 2 was on the Quick, so it's burned. Back to me, and I have the Order Marker 2 on Ordo, who stay put another wound on Arctos, and kill the last Gray Spear. The Order Marker 3 was actually on Leslie, though, who moves up and shoots at a Phantom Knight, but I block it. My 3 is Ordo, and I bring up the back one, so that they could all get to the level 3 height in a future move, and take what should be 2 attacks into Arctos, but it kind of looks like I rolled only 1. Either way, Arctos takes a few wounds here. I put 2 Order Markers on Phantom Knights, with 1 each on Concan and Ordo, with the 1 on PKs to tie up Leslie and take Sola Astrid, and the 2 on Concan to move forward, and the 3 on Ordo. I was going to re-establish the pod on that 3 height triangle. Honestly, that was probably unnecessary, but it's an excuse to actually move Ordo. I win initiative, 1 Phantom Knight takes Sola Astrid, and the others engage Arctos and Leslie. I use Sola Astrid on Leslie and do some wounds, but don't kill either hero. The Order Marker 1 is on Arctos, who misses the attack into that Phantom Knight, and Black Rain ends up conceding there. Pretty good matchup for my pod, with how good Phantom Knights are into Gray Spears, and Swift Fangs missed their 1 shot at cutting my PKs down before they reached the Gray Spears. This one had a bit more dynamic gameplay than most Ordo games, which is nice, and I moved to 2-0 this event. Technically, I actually won the tournament at this point, as it was just a 4-person tournament, and SAScon gives first place to the final undefeated player, regardless of how many total rounds there will be. But we have one more bonus game against Mega Silver coming up, as we had the time to get that game in.